originally, like, when I first started, getting acquainted with the gay community, I mean, even I thought all gay guys were flamey and, feminine, and, really girly. But really, when it comes down to it, there are so many different types of gay guys out there. I mean, the vocabulary alone is pretty ridiculous.
But I associate with diversity. I mean, I really think that being gay is really being different and in every way.
The majority of gays just act like everyone else, so you don't know they're gay. But the ones who act with all the stereotypes are the ones you see, so then that's all that you think there is.
The anxiety building up to it was the worst, but I told my close friends first, and just immediately after was just this rush of relief, and I was the happiest I've been in years, it felt like.
Some people actually, you get closer after you tell them because they feel like you just trusted them with something.
Every day, since I was a kid, I would always think, I'm going to get married, I'm going to have children, but then you realize they're gay, and that possibility is slightly changed.
For the most part, my anxiety was based on my religion disapproving of my lifestyle, which I believe that I couldn't change and still think that I can.
I don't know, I just had fears of not being accepted and people not accepting it, but I haven't had any of those problems.
But it took me 9 years to actually get out of the closet and stop thinking that it was just a phase, that it would go away.
And I think another anxiety is, you have to face reality and tell someone, and addressing, I guess, their reaction. You just don't know how things will change and if you're still going to be treated with respect.
People who I'm not around a lot, I don't feel that they need to know, because the only thing that it leaves room for is judgment that I don't really need.
But now you get tired of living a life that it's not yours.
It affects my everyday life all the time, every week moment, because I feel like sometimes I feel very lonely, like I can't tell anybody.
I've never heard of anybody coming out, and even if the worst case scenario, like the family rejects them, they always feel better.
The reason I couldn't have been my parents would be they are they're very strict, they're very traditional, very conservative.
I thought that coming out to family and friends associated with the church would cause me to be ostracized from that community, and being the only community I really knew at the time, that seemed to me to be pretty catastrophic as far as the rest of my life was concerned.
My dad was more upset with it, but he's coming to grow in it, I guess. I haven't really talked to him about it at all. He hasn't confronted me about it.
It's very difficult to even talk about to them, because I know what the reaction would be. It would not be very good.
They sent me to therapy, and and while I was in therapy, I was asking the therapist to actually help me deal with them instead of trying to change me or something weird like that.
My mom growing up, she had friends that were lesbians, and she just grew up with that, and it wasn't an issue for her.
So then I went to a psychologist, went there a couple times because she was adamant about me being sexually confused, and then she eventually had to face reality and realize that it wasn't something that I was just going to grow out of.
And they came first to an appointment and just said, listen, my son is having issues. He thinks he doesn't like girls. So if you could just straighten him up and have him fixed, it would be good for us. And the woman was like, oh my God, I cannot do that. I'm going to talk to him and I'm going to see what he thinks about it. And we're going to deal whoever he has to deal with it. I cannot change anyone or I cannot fix anyone. There's nothing to be fixed.
It actually went really well. It seems the closer somebody was to me, the better they took it.
I'm not sure if my dad took it better because my brother's straight or not. I'm not really. He's very accepting of me, but I guess I don't talk to him about the issue so much.
He thinks of me two different ways. The son that told him that day, this tragedy and ruin his future or whatever, and the other one that is still his son and the one that he raised and the nice and intelligent, blah, 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 everything that a father says. So he just blocks it, and he doesn't want to know anything about my relationships or anything. I mean, he just chose not to know anything, and we respect him because if that's how he wants to deal with it, I have no problem with it.
I don't think there's a point when someone says to themselves, you know, I'm going to do this, I'm going to become this. No one, I mean, in our society, who would really make the decision to be gay? Nobody.
Obviously, we know black people can't wake up and choose to be black, but it's easier to say that gay people can choose to wake up and be gay.
In some weird cases, some people might have chosen it, but I don't know anybody who would.
Honestly, I don't know, because I know if I chose to be straight, life would be a lot easier. From my own experiences.
I mean, life would be easier if I were straight, but I wouldn't be the same person I was today. I can never change that aspect of myself, and I don't think I should ever want to, and I don't ever want to.
I'm actually very religious, and one of the biggest problems with me was that kind of thought, the thought that God do not approve what you do, or do not approve what you think or whatever you feel.
It's pretty clear that homosexuality and religion don't mix very well. You know, they're kind of like oil and water.
The solution that the church offered for homosexuality in the case of my particular Lutheran denomination was simply that because it was a choice, you simply had to choose the right way, which was to not be gay.
But for somebody who's coming out and dealing with a religious situation like that, it's difficult because a lot of people don't want to look at their own religion and think that it could be flawed, or that maybe there's something wrong with the logic.
At the same time, there's direct and indirect discrimination, just knowing people are homophobic and just daily sometimes kind of grinds you down.
The only word that really bothers me is the word faggot, because I feel that it has more historical significance.
Well, with my roommate, I had a gay roommate last year, my freshman year of college. But a few times we had discussions about, you know, his past and the bullshit that he's gone through. People throw stones at him and stuff, or they call him a faggot in passing. You know, it's pretty unfortunate, but people who don't even know somebody would go out of their way to make them feel like shit.
I